Life has a strange way of revealing truths at the moment we least expect them. Sometimes, what we hear from others isn't a reflection of our worth, but a reflection of their assumptions. And sometimes, the universe steps in to show that destiny is not controlled by anyone's predictions or judgments. When I was told I would receive nothing from a 28 million will, it wasn't the money that shook me. It was the certainty with which it was said. The confidence, the dismissal, the belief that I no longer mattered in the grand story that had once included me. But fate has a way of rewriting narratives, especially when intentions remain pure, patient, and steady. The lawyer didn't just correct a misunderstanding. He revealed a truth that had been hidden behind years of silence and assumptions. A truth that reminded me that character still matters, that loyalty still holds value, and that the kindness we give quietly often returns in ways we never expect. This moment wasn't about inheritance. It was about clarity, about dignity, about realizing that sometimes people misunderstand your role in their life, but the truth always arrives, even if late. That laughter from the lawyer wasn't mockery. It was the sound of a truth unfolding. A reminder that destiny cannot be controlled by someone's opinion, and that what you deserve has a way of finding you, even when others think it won't. So, as you walk through your own journey, remember this: people may speak, judge, or assume, but your story is not written by their words. It is written by your actions, your integrity, and the truth that always emerges at the right time. Keep moving forward with grace. Life sees more than people think, and it rewards more than people expect. Assumptions are one of the quietest forces in life, yet one of the most powerful in shaping how people treat us. They are formed quickly, often without evidence, and spoken confidently as if they were unchangeable truths. But assumptions are not reality. They are shadows, faint outlines based on limited views, incomplete stories, or personal biases. And if we are not careful, we start believing the shadows instead of searching for the truth. People often assume they know your story just because they have witnessed certain moments of your life. They think your struggles define your limits, your silence defines your weakness, or your past defines your future. But every human being carries more depth, more strength, and more untold chapters than anyone watching from the outside can ever understand. Assumptions shrink the vastness of your identity into a small box. The real journey of life begins when you refuse to let that box become your prison. Many times, assumptions come from those closest to us. They assume our possibilities, our worth, our role, or our place in their world. They assume what we deserve or don't deserve, what we can achieve or cannot achieve. Some people assume your importance has faded. Others assume your contribution was small. Some assume you are finished just because you kept quiet during a storm. But silence is not surrender. It is simply a pause for clarity, a moment to gather strength for the next step. The truth is, reality is shaped by patience, actions, intentions, and the unseen efforts carried in the heart, not by what others expect or predict. Reality is built through consistent energy, quiet sacrifices, and the courage to stay true to your own path. No one can determine the outcome of your life based on a single moment or a single belief. Reality belongs to those who keep moving, even when the world has already drawn conclusions about them. Assumptions are dangerous because they create false narratives. A person might assume you have nothing left to offer, but they do not see the resilience you carry. They might assume you are dependent when in reality, you have become strong enough to stand alone. They might assume you are silent because you lack the words, not realizing that your silence comes from wisdom, not weakness. People assume because it is easy. Reality requires effort, patience, and understanding. One of the most powerful transformations in life happens when you stop trying to correct every assumption made about you. At some point, you learn that your purpose is not to adjust the opinions of others, but to align yourself with the truth. You stop engaging in the noise. Stop defending yourself against words that were never based on reality. Instead, you begin to invest your energy in actions that speak louder and last longer. When the truth finally comes to light, as it always does, it does not need your voice, it carries its own weight. Assumptions come from limited vision, but reality unfolds with time. There are moments in life when everything seems unclear, when others misjudge your place, your intentions, or your worth. Yet time has a way of sorting everything. Time reveals character. Time exposes lies. Time rewards consistency. Time brings forward what was hidden, misunderstood, or ignored. That is why the calmest people are often the ones who understand that time is wiser than assumptions. They know that truth does not panic, it simply waits for the right moment. Reality is not determined by what someone says in frustration, pride, or ignorance. Reality is shaped by the unseen work you have done over the years, the loyalty you gave without being asked, the compassion you showed even when unnoticed, the commitment you maintained when no one believed in you. Reality is built through the principles you upheld, the kindness you offered, and the strength you cultivated. These are the things no one can take away, no matter what assumptions they make. Assumptions also reveal more about the person who makes them than the person they target. When someone assumes the worst about you, it often reflects their own fears or insecurities. When someone assumes you deserve less, it may reflect their own scarcity mindset or resentment. When someone assumes your chapter is over, it may reveal that they cannot imagine growth beyond their own limits. Understanding this helps you protect your heart from being wounded by careless predictions. The greatest freedom comes from knowing who you are and not letting anyone rewrite your story. You are not defined by the assumptions made about you. You are defined by your truth. Your journey is too vast to fit into anyone's expectations. Your value is too deep to be measured by anyone's judgment. And your future is too powerful to be limited by someone's narrow view. When someone underestimates you based on assumptions, let it strengthen your quiet confidence. You don't need to raise your voice or defend your worth. Let life do that for you. Let your actions dismantle their predictions. Let time reveal what they failed to see. And let your character speak where their assumptions fall silent. Remember that assumptions dissolve the moment truth appears. What once seemed certain to others becomes insignificant when reality takes shape. The world has seen countless examples of people who were judged incorrectly, underestimated, overlooked, or dismissed, only to rise far beyond expectations. Not because they fought assumptions, but because they stayed committed to truth. You too have that power. You are not here to live according to the limited beliefs of others. You are here to grow, to rise, to evolve, and to walk your path with dignity. Reality is not something people grant you, it is something you build. And as long as you continue to walk with integrity, strength, and patience, reality will always honor you more than assumptions ever could. So let people speak, let them assume, let them believe whatever makes sense in their limited understanding. Meanwhile, you stay aligned with who you truly are. Because assumptions fade, opinions change, and noise dies down, but truth stands firmly, quietly, and permanently. Your life is not defined by assumptions. Your life is defined by the truth you live. And that truth will always be stronger than anything spoken about you. Money is often treated as the ultimate measure of success, worth, and power. People chase it, fear losing it, and judge others based on how much of it they have. But the more we experience life, the more we realize that true value lies far beyond anything that can be counted, owned, or inherited. When everything material falls away, what remains is what truly defines us: character, relationships, loyalty, compassion, courage, and the quiet moments of humanity that no amount of wealth can buy. There are situations in life where money becomes the center of attention, especially during moments of conflict, inheritance, or uncertainty. It is in these times that people show who they really are. Some cling to wealth as if it is the only form of security. Others measure their respect for someone based on material possessions. Yet there are those who understand that the greatest treasures cannot be locked in a bank vault or written on a legal document. These treasures live inside the heart, and they follow us into every chapter of life. Value is not defined by what you own, it is defined by what you stand for. There are wealthy people with empty hearts, and poor people with souls rich in kindness. There are those who lack material privilege, but possess endless generosity, strength, and wisdom. And there are those who have everything money can offer but nothing that brings meaning or purpose. In the end, wealth can bring comfort, but it cannot fill the spaces created by loneliness, betrayal, or regret. When someone evaluates your worth solely through the lens of money, they reduce your story to a number that does not reflect the years of effort, the sacrifices you made, or the love you gave. They overlook the nights you stayed awake for others, the support you offered without asking for anything in return, the promises you kept, and the patience you practiced. Money can never measure those things, yet they are the foundation of human connection. Money can buy a house, but not a home. It can buy gifts, but not genuine affection. It can buy followers, but not loyalty. It can buy time with people, but not true love or genuine respect. The heart recognizes authenticity, and authenticity has a value that no fortune can replace. That is why people who chase money often feel empty, while people who chase meaning often feel fulfilled. Life has a way of surprising us. Sometimes the person who seems to have the least materially has the most spiritually. Sometimes the one dismissed because they lack wealth turns out to be the one with the purest intentions and the strongest backbone. Sometimes someone who is overlooked or underestimated becomes the greatest source of comfort, guidance, or truth. Wealth does not create value, character does. The most meaningful things in life happen in moments of simplicity. A heartfelt conversation, a sincere apology, a hand reaching out during difficult times, or the quiet strength someone shows when the world falls apart. These things don't require money. They require courage, empathy, and love. These qualities shape who we are and how people remember us. Money can influence decisions in the present, but it cannot rewrite the truth of the past. It cannot erase kindness or undo loyalty. It cannot hide the intentions behind someone's actions. And it certainly cannot replace the dignity someone carries when they have always acted with sincerity, even when unnoticed. People may try to control situations with wealth, but real influence comes from moral strength, not financial power. A person's value also lies in the way they make others feel. People remember how you treated them long after they forget what you gave them. They remember your consistency, your honesty, your patience, your resilience. These qualities define you far more deeply than any property, bank account, or inheritance ever could. Life teaches us that money can disappear in an instant. It can be gained quickly or lost quickly. It can grow, shrink, or change hands without warning. But the values built through experience, patience, wisdom, kindness, endurance, humility, remain with you no matter where life takes you. These qualities are not affected by circumstance. They live within you, and they travel with you through every chapter of your life. Many people discover too late that the relationships they damaged while chasing wealth were more valuable than the wealth they gained. Some realize that the person they overlooked was the one who truly stood by them. Others learn that giving is more rewarding than collecting, and that peace is more precious than luxury. Life has a quiet way of reminding us that money is a tool, not a purpose. When people judge your worth through a financial lens, let it not disturb your inner peace. Their vision is limited. They see only the surface, not the depth. They see numbers, not the years of sacrifice, compassion, and commitment behind your actions. You do not need to defend your worth to anyone who measures value through material standards. Let your character speak. Let your consistency speak. Let your life speak. True value shines in moments where money is powerless. When someone believes in you, when someone stands beside you during hardship, when someone protects your dignity without expecting anything in return, that is value. When someone forgives, understands, or chooses empathy over judgment, that is value. These gifts cannot be bought. They are earned through humanity, honesty, and heart. In the end, the legacy you leave is not the wealth you accumulated, but the impact you made. People remember the way you lived, the love you gave, the integrity you held onto even when tested. They remember the truth about your heart. Wealth fades, possessions change owners, and material things lose meaning with time. But the value of a sincere soul remains forever. Therefore, never let anyone convince you that your worth depends on financial power. Never let their assumptions make you feel lesser. Money is a temporary companion. Character is a permanent identity, and when life reveals the truth, as it always does, it becomes clear that true value belongs to those who lead with authenticity, not those who count with greed. Your worth has always been deeper than wealth. Your story has always been larger than numbers. The value you hold lives in your heart, your actions, and your essence. And no amount of money can ever match that. Truth is one of the most powerful forces in life, yet it rarely arrives when we want it to. It does not move according to our impatience or our fear, nor does it reveal itself simply because we feel ready. Truth comes when its moment has matured, when the silence has served its purpose, and when the heart has grown strong enough to receive it. It comes quietly, steadily, and precisely, not early, not late, but at the exact time it is meant to. There are moments in life when we feel confused, betrayed, or abandoned by circumstances, and we ask ourselves questions we cannot answer. Why did this happen? Why did someone act this way? Why did things fall apart? Why can't we see the whole picture yet? In those moments, we want clarity immediately, but life rarely gives it on demand. Instead, it asks us to trust the process, to walk through the uncertainty, and to let truth unfold at its own pace. It is human nature to crave certainty. We want explanations for the pain we feel, the choices others make, or the situations that seem unfair. But sometimes truth takes time because we, ourselves, need time. We need time to grow, to strengthen, to gain perspective, to shed illusions, or to heal enough to handle what the truth will change. If truth arrived instantly, before our hearts were ready, it might break us instead of guiding us. That is why life does not rush. Truth is patient, because patience is often the only way to protect us. Sometimes truth hides behind events that feel confusing or unfair. Someone's actions may not make sense. A situation may seem hopeless. A relationship may feel broken without explanation. But later, sometimes months, sometimes years, clarity arrives. It arrives in the form of revelations, confessions, unexpected information, or simply the wisdom that comes with time. And in that moment, we suddenly understand what we could not see before. It is often in hindsight that we realize the delay of truth was not a punishment, but a form of protection. Think about the times you trusted someone who later showed their real intentions. At first, the truth hurt. But imagine if you had known earlier. Would you have been strong enough to walk away? Would you have been wise enough to understand the lesson? Or would you have ignored it, doubted it, or tried to rewrite reality? Truth waited because you needed to grow into the strength required to face it. Truth also has timing because life has timing. Some truths open doors, but only when the path is ready. Other truths close chapters, but only when you are stable enough to move forward without breaking. Some truths shift relationships, but only when the heart has matured enough to handle the change without bitterness. And some truths elevate you, but only after you have learned the humility and patience required to rise without losing yourself. Life never wastes truth. It delivers it exactly when it will help you, not harm you. One of the most profound aspects of truth is that it cannot be hidden forever. People may hide intentions, emotions, decisions, or mistakes. They may create stories, excuses, or illusions. But truth is like the sunrise. It can be delayed by clouds, but it cannot be stopped. Eventually, the clouds break, and everything becomes visible. It may take time, but it always happens. That moment of awakening can feel like a mixture of relief and pain. Relief because you finally understand. Pain because you now see what was hidden. But even in the discomfort, there is a quiet power. The power of seeing things clearly. With clarity comes direction, and with direction comes purpose. Truth is liberating. It frees you from confusion, from assumptions, from the stories others tried to make you believe. It frees you from emotional traps, from manipulation, and from false hope. But before truth can free you, it must first arrive. And it will only arrive when your heart can handle freedom. What many people don't understand is that truth is not only about discovering what others have done. Sometimes, it is about discovering who you truly are. There are truths within you, about your strength, your worth, your resilience, that also take time to reveal themselves. You may not see your power until you survive something you thought would break you. You may not see your courage until you face something you once feared. You may not see your worth until someone undervalues you. Even the truth about yourself has its own timing. Life has a rhythm, and truth is part of that rhythm. Just as seasons come when the earth is ready, truth comes when the soul is ready. You cannot force summer during winter, and you cannot force clarity during confusion. You must allow time to do its work. One of the most peaceful realizations is that you do not need to hunt for truth. You do not need to chase answers or rush clarity. When the moment is right, truth finds you. Life will put the right people, messages, events, or revelations in front of you. Sometimes through unexpected conversations, sometimes through sudden realizations, sometimes through quiet moments of reflection. The truth you need will always arrive. This realization brings peace. Instead of stressing about what you don't know, you begin trusting that when the moment comes, you will know. Instead of forcing outcomes, you begin flowing with life. Instead of fearing deception, you begin believing in divine timing. Truth comes to those who wait with patience, and who live with integrity. It comes to those whose hearts remain honest, even in times of confusion. It comes to those who choose dignity over desperation, and understanding over anger. Such people do not chase truth, they attract it. One day, everything will make sense. The questions you carry today will have answers. The confusion you feel now will become wisdom. The silence life has given you will turn into clarity. And the pain that once felt meaningless will reveal the purpose behind it. When that day arrives, you will look back and understand why truth waited. You will realize that timing was everything. you will see that the truth did not delay. It simply arrived at the exact moment your heart was ready to receive it. And when it comes, it changes everything. Integrity is one of the rarest qualities in the world, not because people do not understand it, but because it requires strength in moments when strength is hard to find. It is easy to act with honesty when life is simple, when the path is smooth, and when everyone is watching. But true integrity is revealed in the silence, in the unseen decisions, in the sacrifices made without applause, and in the moments when doing what is right is far more difficult than choosing what is convenient. Integrity is not a performance. It is not something you turn on when people are paying attention and turn off when you think no one will notice. It is the quiet consistency of your character, the internal compass that guides your decisions even when no reward is promised. People may forget your accomplishments, your possessions, or your status, but they never forget your integrity. It leaves a mark deeper than any achievement can. There is something powerful about a person who stands by their principles even when the world tests them. Someone who refuses to compromise their values for temporary gain. Someone who stays honest when dishonesty might seem easier. Someone who chooses kindness even when dealing with cruelty. These individuals may not always rise quickly, but when they rise with a dignity that cannot be taken away. Integrity is not about perfection, it is about authenticity. It is about saying what you mean and meaning what you say. It is about admitting when you are wrong rather than hiding behind excuses. It is about honoring your commitments, even when keeping them becomes uncomfortable. It is about being stable in a world of inconsistency. People are drawn to those who possess integrity because such people offer something rare: trust. Trust is earned slowly and lost quickly. It is built through honesty, patience, and humility. When someone consistently speaks truth, acts fairly, and treats others with respect, their presence becomes comforting, their words carry weight. Their actions inspire confidence. Even those who do not agree with them cannot deny the sincerity behind their choices. A person with integrity does not need to announce their values, their life speaks for them. Their behavior in difficult moments reveals who they truly are. Their reactions in times of conflict show the depth of their character. Their willingness to stand alone, if necessary, speaks louder than any declaration. There is a calm strength in such individuals, a stability that comes from knowing they have nothing to hide and nothing to prove. In a world filled with noise, dishonesty, competition, and ego, integrity shines quietly but powerfully. It does not demand attention, but it earns respect. It does not seek validation, but it receives genuine admiration. Even those who misunderstand or underestimate a person of integrity eventually recognize their strength. Time exposes everything, and integrity becomes a timeless witness to someone's true nature. There will always be situations in life where acting without integrity seems beneficial in the moment. A lie may cover a mistake, a shortcut may lead to quick success, a selfish decision may bring temporary advantage. But these things come with hidden costs, guilt, fear, instability, or eventual consequences that reveal the truth. The foundation built on dishonesty always cracks, while the foundation built on integrity stands firm. Integrity also protects relationships. When someone knows you will not betray them, cheat them, or deceive them, they feel safe. When people feel safe around you, they open their hearts, their trust, and their loyalty. They feel seen, respected, and valued. Integrity builds bonds that last, because they are not built on manipulation but on truth. Moreover, integrity preserves inner peace. A person who lives honestly sleeps peacefully. They do not fear exposure, judgment, or the collapse of false fronts. Their conscience is clear. Their decisions align with their moral compass. They do not need to pretend, hide, or rewrite their story. Their life becomes simpler, lighter, and more meaningful because it is authentic. Some people misunderstand integrity, believing it makes life harder. They think being honest means losing opportunities or showing weakness. But integrity is not a weakness, it is the highest form of strength. It takes courage to do what is right, courage to admit mistakes, courage to resist temptation, courage to stay firm when pressured. The person who stands for something will always stand stronger than the one who stands for nothing. And in the long run, integrity always leads to the best outcomes. It attracts the right people, builds meaningful opportunities, and opens doors that dishonesty can never unlock. Even if the journey feels slower, it is far more stable. Opportunities gained through integrity come with respect, not suspicion. Success earned through integrity brings pride, not regret. Nothing built on truth has to fear being destroyed. People may forget the words you spoke or the places you visited, but they never forget how you made them feel. And integrity makes people feel safe, respected, and valued. They may not remember every detail of what you did, but they remember the honesty in your actions and the sincerity in your heart. That is the kind of impression that lasts long after the moment has passed. Over time, integrity becomes a legacy. Long after you leave a conversation, a workplace, or even this world, your integrity remains attached to your name. People will speak of your honesty, your kindness, your fairness, your principles. They will recall how you handled pressure, how you upheld your values, how you treated others regardless of circumstance. This legacy is more valuable than wealth, status, or recognition. Integrity shapes how people view you, but more importantly, it shapes how you view yourself. It builds confidence rooted in authenticity. When your actions align with your beliefs, you possess a rare kind of strength. The strength of knowing you never betrayed your own moral compass. That alignment creates a quiet, powerful self-respect that no external validation can match. In the end, integrity is the one quality that does not fade with time. Looks fade, money fluctuates, achievements are forgotten, opinions shift, and circumstances change. But integrity, once rooted deeply, becomes unshakable. It guides you through every storm, keeps your path steady, and ensures that whatever you gain in life, you gain with honor. And when all is said and done, when people remember you, they will remember not your wealth, not your possessions, not your status, but your character. They will remember that you stood firm when others wavered, that you remained truthful when others hid behind lies, that you acted with dignity when others acted with selfishness, that you lived with heart, with courage, and with unwavering honesty. Integrity leaves an impression that time cannot erase. It becomes your signature, your legacy, and your quiet gift to the world. Life is filled with voices, some loud, some quiet, some supportive, and some discouraging. But among all the opinions that surround us, it is important to understand one profound truth. Destiny is not shaped by what people think of you. Destiny is shaped by your intention, your actions, your resilience, and your unwavering belief in yourself. Opinions may create noise, but they do not write your life script. From the moment we begin our journey, people form judgments based on what they see, what they assume, or what they misunderstand. They decide what you can or cannot achieve, how far you can go, or what you deserve. Some judge you by your past, others by your silence, and some simply by their own limitations. But no matter how confidently someone speaks about your life, their words do not carry the power to shape your future. Opinions are temporary, destiny is eternal. People's opinions are often reflections of their own fears, insecurities, and boundaries. Someone who believes they cannot achieve something will assume you cannot either. Someone who fears growth will expect you to stay the same. Someone who feels small may try to shrink you with their words. But their limits do not have to be your limits. You are not obligated to inherit anyone's perspective or absorb anyone's negativity. The truth is simple: people speak from the level of their belief, not the level of your potential. Your destiny is far too vast to fit into the narrow frame of someone else's judgments. You are capable of change, evolution, and transformation that others cannot even imagine. And because they cannot imagine it, they assume it is impossible. But destiny does not ask for their permission. Destiny only asks for your persistence. There are countless stories of individuals who were doubted, mocked, underestimated, or dismissed, yet they rose beyond expectations. Not because the world believed in them, but because they believed in themselves. They understood that every person who tried to define them was speaking from limited vision, while their destiny was shaped by limitless possibility. They listened to their inner calling louder than the noise around them. The same truth applies to every person walking through difficulty or misunderstanding. There will always be people who think they know your future. They think they can predict your failures or measure your success. They think their opinion defines your worth. But destiny is not influenced by speculation. It is influenced by faith, by courage, and by the choices you make when no one is watching. At some point in life, you must learn the power of ignoring the noise. Not because you are stubborn, but because your journey deserves clarity. If you allow every opinion to enter your mind, you lose focus. If you allow every judgment to settle in your heart, you lose confidence. And if you allow every doubt to influence your decisions, you lose direction. Your destiny requires silence. The kind of silence where you hear your own voice louder than anyone else's. There is a reason why life gives each person a unique path. You are meant to walk roads others cannot understand. You are meant to make choices others may question. You are meant to dream dreams others may consider unrealistic. That is how destiny works. It speaks to you, not to them. So when someone claims to know your future or tells you what will or will not happen, remember, they are outsiders to your journey. People will always talk. Some will predict your downfall, others will underestimate your strength, and some will assume you have no control over your life's direction. But just because someone says something with confidence does not make it true. Opinions can sound loud, but they are powerless unless you give them authority. Once you stop letting the world's noise shape your decisions, you begin to walk in alignment with your true purpose. Destiny is built through action, not agreement. The world does not decide whether you succeed. You do. The world does not decide how far you rise. You do. The world does not choose your blessings, your opportunities, or your breakthroughs. Your perseverance does. Everything you become is a result of your inner strength, not the outer commentary of others. You will encounter people who doubt you at your lowest moments. They will assume your story is over, simply because they do not see your inner fire. They will assume you cannot rise, not realizing you are quietly preparing for something greater. But destiny sees what they cannot see. Destiny sees the seeds planted in your heart long before anyone else believes in them. It sees your persistence, your prayers, your effort, and your growth. And when the time is right, destiny opens doors that silence every opinion spoken against you. There is peace in knowing that no matter who speaks about you, they cannot alter what is meant for you. They cannot delay it, prevent it, or rewrite it. Destiny does not operate through rumors or predictions, it operates through divine timing, strength, and purpose. What is meant for your life will find you even if the entire world thinks it won't. Sometimes opinions become loudest when you are closest to your breakthrough. That is because people judge based on visible circumstances, not unseen potential. They judge chapters instead of the whole story. They judge your current position without knowing the direction you're headed. But destiny is shaped by the path ahead, not the moment you stand in now. Your journey will be filled with moments where you must choose between listening to the world or trusting yourself. Choose yourself. Choose the quiet voice inside that tells you to keep going. Choose the conviction that your future has meaning, even when others cannot see it. Choose the belief that you are guided, protected, and prepared for something greater. You will realize that opinions fade with time. People forget what they said, or they change their minds when you grow beyond their expectations. But destiny remains. What was meant for you remains. The path designed for you remains. At the end of your life, the opinions of others will not matter. What will matter is the life you built despite their doubts. What will matter is the strength you found within yourself. What will matter is the truth you lived, the courage you carried, and the purpose you fulfilled. Destiny cannot be controlled by opinions. Destiny is controlled by truth, by faith, by patience, and by the unstoppable force that lives inside you. Quiet loyalty is one of the rarest forms of strength in a world that often glorifies noise, spectacle, and public validation. It is the kind of loyalty that does not announce itself, does not demand gratitude, and does not wait to be acknowledged. It simply exists, steady, unwavering, and committed. And because it is so quiet, so subtle, it is often overlooked or misunderstood. Yet, in the grand design of life, it is never wasted. Every act of silent support, every moment of standing by someone without needing to be seen, every instance of choosing truth over convenience plants a seed that eventually grows into something meaningful, whether or not the world notices. Quiet loyalty begins in the heart, long before it is seen in actions. It is born from sincerity, from a sense of responsibility, from a belief that doing the right thing is valuable even if no applause follows. This kind of loyalty does not seek reward. Instead, it finds its worth in knowing that one stayed true to their principles. The impact of such loyalty may not always show immediately. Sometimes years pass before anyone realizes the depth of someone's commitment. But the universe has a remarkable way of preserving the value of loyalty, of storing it like treasure until the moment its worth is revealed. In human relationships, loyalty is tested in silence, not in crowded rooms filled with witnesses. It is tested in the small decisions. Choosing to stay when someone falters, offering support without being asked, defending someone's name even when they will never know you did. These quiet acts might seem insignificant to an outsider, but to life itself, they are powerful declarations of one's character. The world may celebrate loud gestures, but destiny honors the quiet ones just as deeply. The reward for such loyalty does not always come from the person you gave it to. Sometimes it comes from the path life opens for you, from opportunities that appear when you least expect them, or from the peace that settles in your soul when you know you acted with integrity. People who express quiet loyalty often experience moments of doubt. They wonder if anyone notices their efforts, if their sacrifices matter, if their steadfastness is acknowledged. But loyalty was never meant to be loud to be valuable. Its very essence lies in its humility. Loyalty is not a performance for an audience. It is a commitment made in the privacy of the heart. And because true loyalty is not dependent on recognition, it cannot be diminished by the absence of it. Even if others fail to appreciate it, life never does. Imagine someone who stands by a friend through failures, disappointments, and difficult seasons. They do not announce their presence, but they are always there. Or imagine a parent who works quietly every day, sacrificing their own comforts so their child can have a better future. There are no spotlights on these acts, yet the impact is immense. Years later, the child succeeds, the friend rises, the family heals, and suddenly the weight of those silent acts becomes visible. Loyalty is like a foundation. It is not always seen, but everything built upon it exists because it is there. There is also a transformative power in quiet loyalty. It shapes the heart, strengthens resilience, and cultivates a deep sense of purpose. When you remain loyal despite challenges, you learn to rely on your inner compass rather than external validation. You become someone whose actions are rooted not in ego but in character. And in a world where loyalty is sometimes treated as old-fashioned or naive, staying loyal becomes a form of courage. It becomes a statement that you value depth over convenience, commitment over temporary comfort, and truth over short-term gain. Life has a way of circling back to honor those who stand firm with grace. It might happen through unexpected kindness, through opportunities that align perfectly with your dreams, or through a moment of revelation that shows you why your loyalty mattered in the first place. Sometimes you see it in how people return to you with gratitude long after the moment has passed. At other times, the reward arrives in silence, through a sense of strength, wisdom, or emotional clarity that only loyalty could have taught you. Either way, the loyalty you give does not disappear. It transforms, it returns, and it enriches you in ways far deeper than applause ever could. Quiet loyalty is also a mirror. It reflects who you truly are, not who you want others to think you are. It reveals your values, your priorities, and your capacity for love. It shapes your legacy in ways louder gestures never could. When people remember you, they may not recall the grand moments, but they will remember how they felt in your presence. They will remember that you were someone who could be trusted, someone who kept their word, someone who stayed. There is a kind of respect that only loyalty can earn, soft, steady, and lasting. Even in situations where your loyalty is not returned, it is still never wasted. Not because the person deserved it, but because it strengthened your character. Sometimes you give loyalty to people who do not value it, but the lesson you gain shapes your future relationships. It teaches you what you deserve, what you are capable of, and what kind of connections you wish to nurture going forward. Your loyalty is an investment in your own growth, as much as it is a gift to others. Quiet loyalty is a force that sustains bonds, builds trust, and brings unseen blessings. It may go unnoticed for a while, but life never lets it fade into nothingness. Every sincere act plants roots, every sacrifice becomes a pillar, and every loyal decision shapes the path ahead. And when the right moment comes, life reveals the true weight of what you carried all along. The quiet loyalty you offered becomes the quiet reward you receive, different in form, but equal in value. In the end, loyalty is not about recognition, it is about living with a heart that knows how to stay true. And such a heart is never left empty-handed. Quiet loyalty is never wasted because the universe holds every sincere act with care, returning its value when the time is right, in ways that matter far more than words or applause ever could. There comes a time in every person's life when they are misunderstood, misjudged, or viewed through a lens that does not match who they truly are. Someone might misread your intentions, question your motives, or assume something about you that does not reflect the truth of your heart. And when this happens, it is easy to feel shaken, disappointed, or even hurt. But the reality is simple and unchanging: misunderstandings do not determine your worth. They do not shrink it, break it, or erase it. They only expose the limits of someone else's understanding, not the limits of your value. People often see you through their own experiences, fears, insecurities, or expectations. They project their beliefs onto your actions, sometimes without even realizing it. You might speak with honesty, yet they may hear something entirely different. You might act with kindness, yet they might question your intentions. You might offer support, yet they might interpret it as interference. These misunderstandings can create emotional distance and confusion, but they do not define your essence. Your worth is not built on how others interpret you. It is built on who you truly are when no one is watching. It is human nature to want to be understood. Everyone wants to be seen clearly, to be known deeply, to be recognized for their true intentions. And when others misinterpret you, it can feel like a form of rejection. It can feel as though you are being reduced to a single moment, a single comment, or a single action. But the truth is that misunderstandings reveal far more about the person who misunderstands than they do about you. They show their biases, their assumptions, their lack of knowledge, or their incomplete perspective. They do not diminish your character, your capacity for love, your kindness, or your integrity. Sometimes misunderstandings arise from distance, physical or emotional. Sometimes they arise from silence, assumptions, or lack of communication. Sometimes they happen because people are too absorbed in their own world to pause and consider what you truly meant. And sometimes they happen because the truth you carry is too deep for someone else to grasp at that moment. Whatever the reason, it is important to remember that being misunderstood is not a sign of your failure. It is a sign of human imperfection. No one will understand you perfectly all the time, but you can understand yourself, and that is the foundation of inner stability. Your worth is not determined by how clearly others see you. It is determined by how honestly you live your life. A person who knows themselves, who stays true to their values, who acts with sincerity even in the face of misinterpretation, holds a strength that cannot be taken away. When someone misunderstands you, you do not become less valuable, you simply become someone they have yet to understand. And the world is full of people who once misunderstood something important, but later realized their mistake. Time has a gentle way of revealing truths, dissolving confusion, and correcting false impressions. There will be moments when someone interprets your silence as indifference, your caution as weakness, your patience as passivity, or your generosity as obligation. These interpretations can sting, but they are temporary illusions. The reality is that you are more than a single moment, more than an assumption, and more than someone else's quick judgment. Your story is far bigger than the chapter they happen to read. And if they choose not to turn the page, that is not your responsibility. People who want to understand will ask, those who do not will assume. You cannot spend your life explaining your heart to those committed to misunderstanding it. It is also important to realize that misunderstandings can serve a purpose. They can teach you which relationships are built on genuine curiosity and which ones rely on convenient assumptions. They show you who listens deeply and who listens only for what they want to hear. They reveal who values clarity and who values judgment. And they remind you to stay grounded. Because the more you grow, the more your truth may outgrow other people's limited perceptions. Growth often creates misunderstandings, because those who knew you in one stage may not recognize you in the next. But through it all, your worth remains untouched. You still carry the same heart, the same intentions, the same capacity for kindness, courage, and love. One person's misunderstanding cannot rewrite the story of your soul. Even if the world misunderstands you for a while, time has a way of revealing your true character. People eventually see consistency. They see patterns. They see sincerity. And sincere intentions always outlive momentary confusion. The most powerful thing you can do when misunderstood is to remain aligned with your truth. Do not let someone's misinterpretation push you into bitterness or self-doubt. Do not shrink yourself just to fit someone's limited understanding. And do not try to bend your truth to correct every person who misunderstands you. Because some misunderstandings come from minds not yet ready to understand your depth. Stay patient with yourself and stay patient with life. Truth does not need to shout, it simply needs time. You will meet people who completely misunderstand you at first and later admire the very qualities they once judged. You will meet people who misread your silence, but eventually understand your strength. You will meet people who think you are distant until they realize you were simply protecting your peace. Every misunderstanding is temporary, your worth is permanent. The way you treat others, the sincerity behind your actions, the principles you uphold. These are the things that define you, not the opinions others form in fleeting moments. And in the rare moments when someone's misunderstanding deeply wounds you, remind yourself that your heart remains whole. Their confusion does not erase your truth. Their assumptions do not rewrite your purpose. The way they see you does not change the way life will reward you. Your worth is written in the quiet places of your soul, not in the noisy places of other people's judgments. In the end, misunderstandings are simply shadows. They can distort the shape of your truth, but they cannot erase it. And when the light returns, your true form becomes clear again. So walk with confidence, knowing that your worth is constant, unshakable, and untouched by anyone's misinterpretation. Those who are meant to understand you will, in time. And those who never do were never meant to define your value. Life has a quiet but unwavering way of honoring those who move through the world with patience and dignity. In a society that often glorifies speed, noise, and quick victories, the qualities of calm endurance and steady self-respect can feel outdated or overlooked. But time has a way of revealing their value. Patience and dignity are not just virtues. They are forces. They shape your journey, protect your heart, and guide you through seasons when nothing seems to make sense. And while the world may not notice them immediately, life always does. Life sees every moment you hold yourself together when everything around you feels like it is falling apart. It hears the silent battles you fight, the storms you endure without breaking, and the choices you make when no one is watching. Life rewards such strength, not instantly, not loudly, but always in the moments when you need it most. Patience is not just waiting, it is how you wait. It is the grace you maintain while time unfolds at its own pace. It is the ability to trust the process even when you cannot see the results. Sometimes life delays things because rushing them would ruin them. Sometimes you are meant to pause, grow, or learn before you step into what is meant for you. Patience teaches you resilience, sharpens your wisdom, and prepares you for opportunities that require emotional maturity. When you practice patience, you are telling life, "I trust you." And life responds by opening doors that would have remained closed to someone who tried to force their way through. Dignity works the same way, though it often feels even harder to maintain. Dignity means choosing calm over chaos, truth over impulse, and self-respect over temporary satisfaction. It means walking away without lowering yourself, standing your ground without shouting, and knowing when silence has more power than argument. Dignity is not pride. It is inner strength. It is the knowing that you do not need to diminish yourself to be seen, heard, or valued. You carry your worth within you, and no situation, person, or moment of conflict can take it away unless you hand it to them. People may test your dignity, challenge it, or misunderstand it, but life never overlooks it. Life honors the person who chooses to stay true to themselves even when provoked, pressured, or tempted to act otherwise. There are periods in life when patience feels like a punishment. You wait for answers, for closure, for justice, for progress, or for healing, and it seems like nothing moves. But growth is often invisible. Seeds take root long before they break the soil. Your efforts accumulate long before you see results. Your breakthroughs begin forming long before you feel the shift. Being patient is not being passive. It is recognizing that every season has its own pace, and forcing it will only bring frustration. When you remain patient in moments of uncertainty, you protect your mind from panic and your heart from despair. You create room for clarity to arrive. You allow life to align things in the right sequence with the right people, at the right time. Dignity, too, is tested at the hardest times. When someone disrespects you, when life feels unfair, when situations tempt you to react impulsively or abandon your values. Those are the moments that define your character. Anyone can be graceful when life is easy. But dignity shines brightest when life is difficult. Choosing dignity does not mean staying silent in the face of injustice. It means responding with steadiness instead of chaos. It means lifting yourself above the level of negativity that tries to pull you down. It means understanding that how you carry yourself during adversity often matters more than the adversity itself. People may forget your words, but they will never forget how you held your dignity. Life has a long memory. It does not forget the times you remained patient when you could have given up. It does not forget the moments you stayed calm when you could have lashed out. It does not forget the quiet sacrifices, the silent endurance, the disciplined choices. These become the foundation for the blessings that arrive later, sometimes suddenly, sometimes slowly, but always meaningfully. When life rewards you, it often happens in ways you never predicted. A door opens, an opportunity appears, a relationship heals, a burden lifts, a truth emerges that validates everything you lived through. And in those moments, you understand that your patience and dignity were never wasted, they were investments. Often, the biggest rewards come in the form of peace. Not the temporary kind, but the deep kind. The peace that comes from knowing you did not betray yourself. The peace that comes from knowing you survived without losing your sense of self. The peace that comes from understanding that everything had a purpose. Peace is one of life's greatest gifts, and it is often given to those who navigated their struggles with courage and restraint. Another reward is clarity. With patience, you begin to see why certain paths were blocked, why certain people left, why certain challenges happened. The confusion that once clouded your mind dissolves, and you see that life was not punishing you. It was positioning you. With dignity, you learn which relationships deserve your heart, which situations deserve your energy, and which battles deserve your effort. Dignity filters your life, revealing what truly aligns with you. And then there are rewards that arrive like unexpected blessings. New beginnings, better opportunities, emotional breakthroughs, or long-awaited resolutions. These moments remind you that nothing endured with patience and dignity ever returns empty. Life does not forget the heart that stayed steady. The truth is, patience and dignity are not just responses to life. They are strategies. They protect you from regret, shield you from unnecessary conflict, and guide you toward people and situations that appreciate your presence. They turn obstacles into lessons, waiting into preparation, and challenges into transformation. They shape you into someone who can carry greater responsibilities and greater blessings without being overwhelmed. In the end, life rewards patience and dignity because they reflect trust, self-control, and authenticity, three qualities that never collapse under pressure. So even in moments when progress is slow or misunderstandings surround you, hold on to these qualities with confidence. Every day you move with patience, you build your future. Every day you walk with dignity, you elevate your destiny. Life sees it all. And life always returns the kindness you showed yourself.